Hey my friends, welcome back. Frogboy X1 Gaming, I'm Andrew, and today I want to ask you guys some serious questions about this AMD delay. So I put up my video, just kind of talking about a bunch of stuff actually, just kind of like GPUs in general and how I'm feeling about like everything. But I see this reoccurring theme because I'm like actively on Twitter right now. I'm reading the comments from the video that I just posted, and I get a lot of people saying that it's a bad move because it puts them in a position to where AMD launching in March is kind of forcing their hand into an Nvidia GPU. Now, I get it. Like honestly, guys, because all right, let me be completely honest. When I first heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, dude, are you freaking crazy, AMD? Why are you doing this? And then I thought, and I stopped, and I was like, wait a minute, March. That means 5070 Ti going to launch in February, and then we'll see what the performance of those cards is. We'll see the benchmarks. We'll see the benchmarks of 5090. We'll see the benchmarks of 5080, and then guys, in a way, this is actually a good thing for you if you are wanting to buy an Nvidia GPU, because now Nvidia is it's a lot harder for Nvidia to justify the Founders Edition paper launch that they usually do, because we already know that AIB cards are going to be $100 up to $200 more than what Nvidia sets their Founders Edition prices at. So this actually kind of is going to make Nvidia look even dumber when their prices are significantly higher. When you're paying $1,200 for a 5080, when you're paying $2,500 for a 5090, when you're paying $850 or $900 for a 5070 Ti, and you're paying like $649 to $700 for a 5070, that's gonna make like whatever AMD comes out, because then AMD has the 100% clarity of how they're going to price the 9070 XT and 9070. Now, I mean, that might sound dumb for us consumers because we want our shit right now. We do. We want it now. I want my 9070 XT as soon as possible so that I can create content to bring in ad revenue. I mean, I want that card. I mean, I have a 7900 XTX. I don't need a 9070 XT. I absolutely don't need it. But for the channel, to build the community, to bring in more people, to get some more insight on how AMD's Fluid or FSR4 is going to perform, that to me is worth the investment to buy that card, to show it to you, to give you my honest opinion about it, to show you the experience. Just like with the 5080, when I buy the 5080 at the end of this month, that gives me even more time to spend with the 5080, getting to know that card, getting to really focus on that experience, to build some incredible content, to bring in more people to the channel, to build the community, to add to the ad revenue that the channel is making. And to me, my friends, like, I get it. It is hard being a consumer, but it's also hard when we guys, AMD wouldn't be doing this if the sentiment toward AMD wasn't the way it is. Now, everybody just automatically assumes, okay, Nvidia is the best. They just assume that. Regardless of actual freaking proof that AMD 100% has been competing. All 6000 series GPUs, all 7000 series GPUs have been competing very well with the Nvidia GPUs, my friends. People just act like AMD is just these wish versions of like GPUs. There is an actual freaking specific AMD experience that you get when you buy an AMD GPU that is good, that in my opinion, as a gamer, as a content creator, as a regular consumer just like you, there are features on AMD that I absolutely refuse to live without, because they make my life, they make my gaming experience significantly better than what I would ever get on a console, and also rival the feature set that Nvidia brings for their cards. I prefer the AMD experience I would say, let's be honest, I prefer the AMD experience like 73% more than I prefer the Nvidia experience. I mean, if it was closer to like 50-50, then it would be different. But I really do enjoy the experience I get from AMD. I would say about 73% of the time. The other 22% of the time, or 28% of the, what is it, like 27% of the time, 27% of the time, the Nvidia features, when they work and when they're there and they're actually usable, are freaking phenomenal. Freaking phenomenal. There are games that I absolutely just love playing on the Nvidia GPU. And I go through them and I beat them. You know, when I have the Nvidia cards, I'll beat those games. Some of them are games that I've already beat, so I'm just going back there and looking at them and stuff. And that really is a majority of the games that I already have. Those are games that I've already completed on the Nvidia series. I mean, I have a pretty good selection of new games that I've gotten since I've sold the 4080 Super. So there are experiences for me to go back and start playing on the 5080 when I get it. So that's good. That's incredible. But guys, I get that we are upset that AMD has chosen to take this path. There's 101 reasons that you could say, oh, AMD is scared, AMD is like not confident in their product, AMD this, AMD that. But at the end of the day, I think AMD is very confident in the 9070 XT's performance. I think they're very confident, but they want to get pricing right. And they want to get their drivers up to date. They want to get FSR4 launching with that card. There's things that AMD, you know, guys, think about it this way. Why would they sacrifice launching a bad experience now or a almost good enough experience now, and then taking the heat for that, taking the more negativity towards AMD if they launch it and it's not complete and it's overpriced? Why would they do that when they have the perfect opportunity to just be like, you know what, guys, I know this is gonna look bad up front. Like this is gonna suck. Like this is gonna be like, what are we doing? Why are we not out there? Why are we not showing off our cards? Why are we not fighting this fight right now? And then you look at that and you're like, and they're like, no, okay, we're gonna sit back this time. Okay? Every generation, leaks come out pretending that AMD is gonna be stronger than what it is and that it's gonna sell for less. That automatically gives them a bad name. This time they're like, look, we're not even gonna do that. We're not even gonna feed into that. I mean, you literally have leaks out there right now of people saying, yeah, man, retailers have got the 9070 XT. They're sitting right there on the shelf. You know, there's all these like pricing and dude, they were supposed to shadow drop on what, the 23rd? What's today? The 20th? They're supposed to shadow drop in 3 days without even knowing anything about them. This is the extremity of the leaks that the AMD marketing team literally goes through. Now I know it sounds like I'm sitting here making a damage control video for AMD. And in a way, I'm just like, you know, I don't know why I think like this, okay? But in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, well, if I was in the marketing position of AMD, I would probably be making the same decision that they're making right now. We're getting bamboozled. People are always coming up with this stuff. You know what? We're going to let the cards speak for themselves, but we're going to let our competitor 100% show all their cards, come out as the leader of freaking the GPU market and show us where we need to be. And that's fine. Come on, Nvidia, come on out. Show us your stuff. Show us your real data. Show us your real performance. Show us everything about these cards. And then we'll come out and we'll follow suit. We will price our card accordingly. We will set the price for our card accordingly. We will show and bear all of our features and everything, and we will price the card right then and there. Once we know what our competition looks like, in my opinion, this is very smart. This is very smart of AMD. It's actually probably what is really going to start tipping the scales of what to expect from AMD, because right now nobody really has a firm expectation on what AMD should be. Everybody just comes out with these, well, man, and I see it every day, all day long. As a content creator, I'm like, oh man, like I see the people, AMD needs to be this price and they need to do this and they need to do that. Like these guys are like, what have any of these people even done? Like seriously, all the people that are out there telling us what AMD needs to do, I bet none of them work at AMD. I bet none of them work in the PC industry. I bet none of them work in building games or anything. I bet they are all probably just regular people that really don't know what the hell they're talking about when you're trying to run a multi-billion-dollar company and you've got people that are depending on you to be profitable so you can get a salary or get a paycheck. I look at it that way. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I guess maybe you could say I am a little bit more company friendly in terms of, because I know like having family that have ran businesses, you know, obviously running a YouTube channel, you know, like there's costs that we put into this. There's money. Like once you build something, you kind of, you know, have a little bit more understanding of what's going on. And I think it's very unfair for content creators out there to try to use their enormous fan bases to try to bash AMD into like this thing that like people have like zero trust or zero confidence in what AMD is bringing out. Look, guys, I probably wouldn't feel so strong about this had I had better information before I bought my first GPU. And that's the thing, okay? I listened to all the hype and excitement about Nvidia. I bought Nvidia. I bought Nvidia first. I didn't even look at AMD as an option. Didn't even look at them. And now here I am, 18 months later, running the AMD 7900 XTX on a 7800X 3D AM5 platform, and I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I'm over the freaking moon at just how wonderful the AMD experience has been for me. And so I look back at that, and I'm like, man, I could have had a 6800 XT. I could have bought a 6900 XT. I could have bought a 6950 XT, and I would have been happier than I ever was with any of the Nvidia cards that I bought from the 30 series. I would have been happier, and we all know that. I would have had more VRAM. I wouldn't have been running out of VRAM. I would have had less to complain about. I would have absolutely loved the Adrenalin software like I do right now. I would have got in there. I'd have been able to set it up. I would have had a much better user experience out of the gate with PC. It would have been a better experience. But I listened to the hype. I listened to the wives' tales telling me that AMD was just garbage. There was only one person, Terranigma. You guys watch him. You guys watch his channel. He does some incredible freaking work. Only one person was like, yeah, man, AMD's actually not that bad. And if it wasn't for him, like listening to him, I would have just, when the 40 series came out, I probably would have just ended up with a 4070 Ti because that's all my little pre-built would have had. But I looked at AMD and they're like, dude, you can use 2 8-pins. And I had 2 8-pins and I was like, dude, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. I am going to try it. I was literally at the point where I was going to give up on PC gaming and just go back to consoles. I really was. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use the PC for the editing, for all of that stuff. And I'm just going to go back to consoles, covering consoles. But I took his advice. I listened to him and I bought that AMD card, and I've been so happy ever since. And I really do just want to spread that happiness with you guys. It's because, you know, I feel like the experience from AMD and Nvidia is so distinct between the two that it's worth having one or the other. Like, it really is. In terms of like programs and stuff, guys, if you just find, you know, you get on this little thing, it's called Google. I don't know if you guys know what it is, but like Google, if you Google, hey, what I need to program to edit videos that will work good on an AMD Radeon GPU, and then like, boom, a list will pop up, and then you can look at them and you can like click one and download it and try it, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, this shit works. You know, you don't have to, like, you can find programs that work for AMD. Yes, I get it. It's uncomfortable that you have to try to learn a new thing. I get it. But if you're saving money, you're getting a better gaming experience, you're liking the user interface, there's so many other reasons to like AMD that it's just like, it's crazy to me that people will literally lie to themselves and everybody else, making up fictitious stuff about AMD when they've never even had an AMD GPU in their freaking PCs. That is just crazy to me. Now, I could see it, like if they went out and bought like this stuff and they're like sitting there, you know, like playing it, trying it, and they're like, okay, guys, yeah, this here, I'm having a problem with this. 18 months, guys. Where are all these driver issues that are supposed to be happening? Where's these bad drivers that are just making my gaming and my content creation just unusable? I upload videos every single day. I edit them on my editing software. I put them out and they look good, don't they? They're 4K, everything's good. I bring out a lot of content. I use my AMD GPU. I don't have no Nvidia thing in here. It's all AMD. All AMD is powered, like AMD powers this whole freaking channel, and it's pretty smooth. Like, it's pretty smooth. I rarely have issues. I don't get the black screens that everybody's talking about. Like, you know, I could kind of see like people running into problems though, because this is PC. Like, so I don't necessarily write everybody off, but I've been a poster child for what not to do on PC, and my experience has still been pretty smooth. The only time I was really facing issues like instability kind of things like that, it was an Nvidia thing, and like, I'll take some responsibility for like not doing it right, but you know, I've been happy since I've been on AMD, and for AMD to push these cards back a little bit, gain a better understanding of what the PC space is going to look like in a couple of months after Nvidia's 50 series Blackwell GPUs launch. If I was AMD, I would be very cautious too. I would. And Jensen made a lot of freaking bold claims for the Blackwell series GPUs. Brian Caston, I don't know. He did an interview with Alex Battaglia from DF, and he talks about how like neural rendering and multi-frame generation, DLSS4, and how these technologies are coming together, and how they were able to put these all on transformers and stuff. And like, I watched that video and I came away actually fairly impressed. I was like, hey, that sounds pretty good, man. Like, I'm actually excited about the Blackwell experience. Like, I'm 100% like, okay, I'm gonna get that. I want to see this stuff. I want to see this neural rendering, and I want to see these things with my own eyes. I want to be hyped. I want to be happy. I want to be excited. I want to be able to bring the same excitement for Nvidia that I have with AMD, and that's why I'm going with like a 5080. Like, I'm going to go with a higher end card so that I can get that, you know, at least on par or above what my 7900 XTX is. That was the thing. It was like the 4080 Super was pretty damn close, and it was fine for the most part. Like I said earlier, I just didn't want to keep pulling that card out. I'm going to have a second build, but you know, with the 5080, I'll be able to buy that, set it in this PC, and run that, you know, until I'm able to do that. You know, I'll be able to run it for a while and get you guys some good information on it. So, look, here's my advice. Okay? If you are that person that was like, dang, I was just waiting for these cards to come out. I don't have a GPU right now. I'm sitting here. We all thought that this was going to happen sooner or later. If that's you, man, I don't know what to tell you to do. I think that you would benefit greatly from waiting, and that's my honest opinion. You know, I mean, get it. Maybe if you can find like a cheap GPU to get you by until then, until these cards come out, so that you really know exactly what you're going to do. I would suggest doing that, if you can. I mean, if you don't have the money, if you only have one option to make, I would recommend getting a 7900 XTX or 7900 XT. I would just shoot for one of those cards. If you cannot wait for 9070 XT to come out, I think you'll be fine with the 7900 XT or XTX. If you can swing that, if you can find one, I would shoot for that. That would probably be my best recommendation for you. Or if you can find like 4070 Ti Super, 4080 Super at a decent price, maybe shoot for those too. I'm not opposed to anybody buying either one. I'm just saying that, like, if you have to have a GPU right now and you can't wait until March, if you literally cannot wait till March, I think 7900 XTX is going to be the best bet for you. Card's going to last a long time. You got 24 gigs of VRAM, and FSR4 is eventually coming to 7000 series cards. It will work. It will run them. I've been talking to a lot of people. I've been talking to people that are smarter than me about this stuff. And I think there's a consensus between all of us. Like, we all believe FSR 3 or FSR 4 is coming to 7000 series cards. We also actually kind of believe it's going to be possible on 6000 series cards. A lot of us actually feel that they will find a way to make it work on 6000 series cards. So if that's like the main thing that's holding you back, I don't think you should. I think you'll be all right. I absolutely think you'll be all right. I don't think it's going to come out at launch, but I think it'll be out within a reasonable time frame. I don't think it's going to be like years before it comes out. I think it'll be a few more months, not too long, but right now what you got on a 7900 XTX is plenty of power. You can run these games. FSR 3.1 actually looks pretty good, aside from maybe a little bit of ghosting and stuff like that. Absolutely looks pretty good. Somebody actually told me that if you have a DCS monitor, to turn off DCS, and it should get rid of all the ghosting and stuff. So I'm actually going to try that tonight. And then, yeah, guys, I think that's probably your best bet. I think that's probably your best bet if you can't do it. If you're just an Nvidia bro and you're concerned and you're unsure and you feel like AMD is just making the worst mistake ever by doing this, I would be more worried about what Nvidia is doing than what AMD is doing, to be completely honest with you, because those prices for the Founders Edition cards are very good, but we know that the AIB prices are going to be a lot more dollars. So yeah, I would probably be more concerned with that than what AMD is doing, to be completely honest with you. The AMD is not going to lower the prices for your Nvidia cards, sad face. Jensen knows that you guys are going to buy whatever he sells you, period. Like, he knows that. Jensen is a very damn good salesman. Like, that guy gets me every single time, and I'm like, all right, man, I'm ready to do it. I'm going to do it. I don't care. You sold me, Jensen. And he did. He sold me again. Brian sold me again. I'm excited for 50 series GPUs. So I'm going to buy one, and I'm going to try it with my own two eyes, and I'm going to have fun, guys. I'm going to have fun. We're going to have so much fun. So yeah, if you're an Nvidia bro, I'd probably go worry about what Nvidia is doing. Don't worry about AMD, man. So, all right, my friends, if you guys like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.